snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I am here today and I am filming with all of the new stuff that I got for Christmas, so you can probably tell that the lighting is amazing for once. That's because I got 2 soft boxes for Christmas, which I am so happy to have. They are amazing, I love them. It's exciting. It means that my videos should actually look really nice all the time from now on, hopefully, fingers crossed. I still have a few older videos that I haven't edited yet that I will be uploading in the next few weeks, so you'll see them. But after that, it should all be very nice lighting, which I'm really happy about, so that's exciting. I'm also filming this on my phone instead of my camera because I got a couple of phone tripods and things like that for Christmas. So there's just a lot of exciting new stuff happening and going on, and I have to say I'm very happy with it all so far and how it looks. It's going to take me a while to get used to looking at the camera instead of looking at myself, because normally I don't have a camera that shows me, but I am very excited to have this new equipment, and hopefully the videos will be a lot nicer for you guys to watch with all this new stuff. So today I am here to do a book haul. I am going to be doing my Christmas book haul because I had a ton of stuff given to me for Christmas, which was incredibly nice, and I'm eternally grateful to everyone who gave me books because I just had the best year getting so many books. So I'm just going to squish them into one haul and hopefully it won't be too long, we'll see, and let's get started. First up I got this, which is The Enchanted Forest. It is a colouring book and it is by Joanna Basford, and this was very kindly given to me by my mum's boyfriend, who is lovely because he also bought me these soft boxes, so thank you Damon. And I am very excited to have this because I know a lot of people have been loving these and I haven't tried one yet, but not sure when I'm going to fit in some time for colouring because obviously I do an artistic course already, but I'm sure once I finish my uni course this will be invaluable and really fun to sort of have some drawing time and just, yeah, chill out with an audiobook or something like that. So really excited to try out this one. These are not in any order, by the way. It's going to be really random because the pile is just crazy, so yeah. This one is called The Realest. I am currently reading this one. It is by Asaf Hanuka, and this was given to me by my boyfriend. I actually am not loving this one. It's a graphic novel. Every page is a little spread and it kind of tells you, you can see all of the different stuff going on in this guy's life, and it's kind of like his autobiography but told through different spreads and different events that have happened to him. I don't know, I just don't like the art style of this and I think it's a little bit too quirky and loose for me to really get to grips with it and understand it and kind of fully connect. So at the moment I'm not loving this one, but I'm not that far into it. I'm only about 10 pages into it, so yeah, I've got a fair way still to go. So I'll let you guys know what I think of this when I get to the end, but personally it's not really to my taste right now. Next I was given this one, which again is a graphic novel. You'll see a theme. This is Kiki de Montparnasse. I'm not sure how you say it, and it's by Catel and Bouquet. This is a graphic novel. It is in black and white, this one. I'm pretty interested in this one so far. I have started reading this one as well. It's the story of this girl's life and you kind of follow her and her childhood adventures, and then I believe she goes on to become quite an icon later in life, so quite excited to see what happens there. And yeah, so far I'm enjoying this. This was given to me by my grandma, so thank you very much to her. Next I have 2 that I've actually already read and really enjoyed. The first of them is a massive one. This one is called Big Questions, and it is by Nilsson. And this one is huge, like really big, around 500 and something pages. And this one again was given to me by my boyfriend. It is black and white. The pages are all very different because it's kind of this crazy story about so many weird things. It's very philosophical. It has this focus on birds. Birds are definitely a key part of it. And it's just such a peculiar book, but I really enjoyed it. I actually ended up reading out the majority of this out loud with my boyfriend, and we had a great time doing that over the course of 2 days, and it was just really fun. So even though it's a bit of a weird story and it is a bit quirky, I kind of really enjoyed this anyway, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I will be doing a more in-depth review of this one very, very soon, so watch out for that one. Next, I have The Arrival by Sean Tan, and this one I am so excited to have because I actually bought this for Mercedes very recently, for Christmas in fact, and I saw this and thought it looked just like the sort of thing she would really enjoy, and then regretted that I didn't also buy myself a copy, but I'm very happy that I didn't because my boyfriend bought me the lovely hardback edition and I'm so happy to have it. This is basically a pencil drawn story. There is no words in this, so it is all drawn in pencil and it's very, very, very beautiful. It's very hard to hold as well because it's huge, but it basically tells the story of this new arrival at this place, and you just follow his adventures and what he gets up to and the magical creepy creatures that he sort of meets along the way. It's won a lot of prizes in the graphic novel categories, and I can see why, because it's an incredible story and it's a bit of a heart-wrenching one too, and I just had a great time reading this, and it's probably one of my top graphic novels of the whole year, so definitely check this one out. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I will be talking more about this in depth in some of my videos coming up. Next, I have a few books that I bought for myself with Christmas money, and the first of them is this one, which is The Abyss Beyond Dreams, and it's by Peter Hamilton. I haven't read any Peter Hamilton yet, but I know a lot of people who read science fiction do really enjoy his stuff, so I've been trying to pick up a few more science fiction. Also, the spine of this is incredible. I love it so much. And I think a lot of his books have this spine colour with different colours in between, so yeah, really excited to start collecting them if I like them, which hopefully I will. It's a kind of sci-fi investigation, possibly space opera, I don't really know, but I think this is the first one in his series and it says it's a multi-million bestseller, so I thought, what better place to start and try him out. Next, I have one that I was looking for on the trip that I went with Eleanor and Mercedes, and this is Oryx and Crake, and it's by Margaret Atwood. I've not read any Margaret Atwood yet, and I really, really want to, so I'm very, very hopeful that it will be a lot of fun. This is another one that's kind of weird, kind of crazy, a bit out there, but sounds like it could be really, really fun, so I can't wait to give her a try, and I know she's very prestigious. The back of this kind of caught my attention. It just says, "Pigs might not fly, but they are strangely altered. So, for that matter, are wolves and raccoons. A man, once named Jimmy, now calls himself the Snowman and lives in a tree, wrapped in old bedsheets. The voice of Oryx, the woman he loved, teasingly haunts him, and the green-eyed children of Crake are, for some reason, his responsibility." Yeah, sounds good. And the next one that I picked up for myself is another sci-fi. You'll notice I'm picking up a bit more sci-fi recently, and this is Ian M. Banks's Consider Phlebas? I'm not sure. And this one I think is just a kind of sci-fi space opera, possibly. I wanted to try some Ian M. Banks because I've seen a lot of people like his stuff, and I've not tried any of it yet, so I definitely want to give it a go, and hopefully I will really, really like it. The next one that I have is one that I've wanted for so long. This is Wonderstruck. It is by Brian Selznick, and I've heard so many good things about him. I've looked in these books many times. Also, look at the spine. It is incredible. Really, really cool. But I've looked in these books so many times in the bookshops, and I've really, really wanted them. Basically, it's a story, but half of it is told through pictures and half of it is told through words. So you get sections of pictures and then you get sections of words sort of interspersed within, and it's just such a beautiful book. Oh, I love it so much. Well, I haven't read it yet, but I'm sure I'm going to love it very much, and I really adore pencil drawings. You guys know this. I love it. And I admire people who can do it really well, and he looks like he can do it really well, guys, so I'm excited to read this. I honestly don't know what the story is about, really, but I know that it's his second book. Ben and Rose secretly wish their lives were different. Ben longs for the father he has never known. Rose dreams of a mysterious actress whose life she chronicles in a scrapbook. When Ben discovers a puzzling clue in his mother's room, and Rose reads an enticing headline in the newspaper, both children set out alone and on dangerous, desperate quests to find what they are missing. So it sounds really good, and I can't wait to check it out. Wonderstruck. And I was given this by my grandparents. They are super lovely and gave this to me, so thank you very much. Speaking of my grandparents, they also got me the other one, which is The Invention of Hugo Cabaret. This one, as you can see, has a Caldecott medal. So it's won awards, and it's by Brian Selznick again, and it's again got a lovely face on the side of it. So cool. Again, it's told in pictures and in text. It's the first one of them that he did in this style, and I think it's also been made into a film as well, so it's obviously pretty highly praised. Orphan, clockkeeper, and thief, Hugo lives in the walls of a busy Paris train station where his survival depends on secrets and anonymity. But when his world suddenly interlocks like the gears of a clock he keeps, with an eccentric, bookish girl and a bitter old man who runs a toy booth in the train station, Hugo's undercover life and his most precious secret are put into jeopardy. So that's that one. Again, really looking forward to reading this because I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Next, I got this one, which is Wildwood. This is by Colin Meloy, and I've had this on my wish list again for a very long time and finally been given it for Christmas by my mum. And I'm so excited because I think this is a middle grade book. It's very small format, which I love. I love small format, and it does have illustrations within the text. It's mostly text, but there are illustrations here and there within. There's a little map here, and there's another illustration there. So they are sort of interspersed in the text. I'm sure I've heard people talking about this before. I'm not sure if it's part of a series or anything. It says, Prune McKeel's life is ordinary. That is, until her brother is abducted by a murder of crows and taken to the impassable wilderness, a dense, tangled forest on the edge of Portland. No one's ever gone in, or at least returned to tell of it. So begins the adventure that will take Prue and her friend Curtis deep into the impassable wilderness. There they uncover a secret world in the midst of a violent upheaval, a world full of warring creatures, peaceful mystics, and the powerful figures with the darkest intentions. Sounds good. Sounds very good, sounds exciting, and I haven't really been reading middle grade recently, and I do really enjoy kids fiction, so I'm happy to have this. Then another one that she got for me, my mum, is The Thickety, A Path Begins, which is by J.A. White, and again I think this is a middle grade one. I think it's also about going into a woods or something too, and it's got deckled edges, which I'm not sure how I feel about deckled edges. I haven't read anything with deckled edges yet, so this will be my first one. Hand in hand, the witch's children walked down the empty road. When Cara Westfield was 6 years old, her mother was convicted of the worst of crimes, witchcraft. Years later, Cara and her little brother Taff are still shunned by the people of their village who believe that nothing is more evil than magic, except perhaps the mysterious forest that covers nearly the entire island. It has many names, this place, and sometimes it's called the Darkwood, or Sordier's Realm, but mostly it's called Thickety. So again, I think it's about going into a wood, which is quite funny. I'm very excited to read this one as well. And then I very kindly got a couple of books from Mercedes, whose channel is Mercy's Bookish Musings. I'll link her down below. You guys saw me go up to London with her if you've watched my vlog recently. We had an amazing time. We gave each other a few small gifts, but then we also got each other a few bigger gifts and a few more exciting hardbacks and books that we really enjoyed and we wanted the other one to read. So she got me this one, which is called The Last Animal. It's by Abby Jenai, and I think it's a short story collection. I love the illustration on the front of this. It is incredible. I think you'll all agree. Watercolour, it looks like. Very beautiful. And it says, The Last Animal by Abby Jenai is a rare literary find, a remarkable series of stories unified around one theme: people who use the interface between the human and natural world to contend with modern challenges in love, loss, and family and life. Terror Birds tracks the dissolution of a marriage set against an ostrich farm in the sweltering Arizona desert. Dharma at the Gate features the tempest of young love as a teenage girl must choose between man's best friend, her damaged boyfriend, and a beckoning future, and all sorts of other stories. So it's quite short. It is a short story collection. And I'm very happy to have this because I know Mercedes loves it. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, I'm sure. And thank you, Mercedes, for getting it for me because I haven't got enough short story collections and she keeps on telling me to read them. So I really need to get around to them, and this is definitely going to be a great starting point, I'm sure. So I can't wait to read this. Mercedes also then got me this one, which is A Fine Balance. It's by Rohinton Mystery. This one is about India, I believe, so that's really exciting. I think it's a literary fiction, and it's set in the mid-1970s in India. A Fine Balance tells the story of 4 unlikely people whose lives come together during a time of political turmoil soon after the government declares a state of internal emergency. Through days of bleakness and hope, their circumstances and their fates become inextricably linked in ways no one could have foreseen. So it sounds good, and I don't know anything about India at all, which is really bad, but I don't, so I'm sure that this will be informative. Mercedes did say that you don't have to know anything about India to go into this book, but it does really inform you about some of the things that were going on in this time period, so I'm really excited and I can't wait to learn a bit more about it. And it's quite a chunky one, so it'll probably take me a little bit to get to, but whenever I do, I'm very, very excited to do so and read it and hopefully really, really enjoy it, because I know Mercedes loved it. Also, the spine is stunning, so pretty. Another one that Mercedes got for me is The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake, which is by Amy Bender. I believe she read this fairly recently, or mentioned it on her channel fairly recently, and it says, on the eve of her 9th birthday, Rose Edelstein bites into her mother's homemade lemon chocolate cake and discovers that she has a magical gift. She can taste her mother's emotions in the slice. All at once, her cheerful, can-do mother tastes of despair and desperation. Suddenly, and for the rest of her life, food becomes perilous. Anything can be revealed at any meal. Rose's gift forces her to confront the truth behind her family's emotions, her mother's sadness, her father's detachment, and her brother's clash with the world. But as Rose grows up, she learns that there are some secrets even her taste buds cannot discern. I love the sound of this. It definitely reminds me of the Chew graphic novels that I've been reading, but hopefully less gruesome, this one. I think this will be really heartbreaking and loving all at once, so I'm very intrigued to see how it goes. Again, pretty short book actually, so definitely one I can get to. I think this is more classed as magical realism, and I think it's going to be a really, really good read, so I can't wait for it. And thank you again, Mercedes. And Mercedes basically just spoilt me because she also got this one, which is At the Mouth of the River of Bees, stories by Kij Johnson, and this one I know she loves. It's got a lot of great people on the back saying it's awesome, who include Ursula K. Le Guin and Lev Grossman, and I know that the author won some Nebula Awards. These stories feature cats, bees, wolves, dogs, and even the most capricious of animals, humans, and have been reprinted in various places, so it sounds great, and I love, again, the illustration on the front is stunning, so can't wait to give this a try. I also own Fidoki by this author, so whichever one I get to first, I know Mercedes will be happy because I know she loved them both. Then moving on to some bigger format ones. This one is Dragon Art, and it is by Graham Amer. It says Inspiration, Impact and Technique in Fantasy Art, and it has a foreword by John Howe, but I think you'll all agree that just for the cover of this book, it's worth buying because look at that illustration of that dragon. So cool. This is just an art book with dragons all over the place. By various different artists, I think. There's a whole list of different artists in this, including John Howe, Don Mates, Jenny Wirtz, Sarah Sulo, Bob Eggleton, Larry Elmore, Todd Lockwood, and so many others. So basically it's just a collection of lots of dragon pictures, which honestly you can't go wrong with. Yeah, there's just dragons everywhere. It's huge, by the way. It's so big. It's so big. But very, very cool. So hard to hold up and show you at the same time as me being in frame, but it is very, very cool. I was given this by my grandma and granddad again, and I cannot wait to have a little peruse through this because I know it's going to be so exciting. I do love dragons, and yeah, dragon art is something that I definitely enjoy looking at, so I can't wait for this. Another one that he picked up kindly for me is Injection. This is by Ellis Shavely and Belair. I haven't actually picked this one up, although I have seen other people talking about it, and it says on the back, once upon a time there were 5 crazy people and they poisoned the 21st century. Now they have to deal with the corrosion to try and save us all from a world becoming too weird to support human life. Just sounds really odd, but it sounds really interesting as well. And it says it's science fiction, horror, crime, techno-thriller and a ghost story all at once, so that's quite a lot to pack into one book, but I am very excited to try it out, and hopefully it'll be awesome. I'll show you guys the artwork. The artwork is fairly standard, but it's got some nice colours every now and then, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun to read through and enjoy. And another one that he got me is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo in graphic novel format, which I didn't even know was a thing. I have already read the actual book, and this is by Denise Minder, Leonardo Manco, and Andrea Mutti, and obviously the original is by Stieg Larsson, the actual book, which was then made into a film and has also been made into a graphic novel. The artwork inside looks like this. It's quite a chunky book, but I'm very excited to read this because I know that the fourth one came out recently under a new author because Stieg Larsson unfortunately died. I don't know how I feel about continuing with the series under a different author because I know he never really wanted it published, but I might pick it up. I'm definitely excited to read through this. It does look a bit gruesome, but the actual book's a bit gruesome, so that's understandable. And then another one that he picked up for me is Neil Gaiman's Sandman Overture, the deluxe edition, which is illustrated by J.H. Williams III and Dave Stewart. And I love the cover of this. It's so pretty. I've seen this in the shops all the time. I still haven't finished the original Sandman series, but I definitely am excited to read this. I mean, look at the cover, guys. It's so beautiful. The artwork inside as well, the end papers are probably the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life. They are just really, really cool. And the end papers at the other side are even better. Look at that. Oh, so gorgeous. I don't really know how this fits in other than it must be after the original series because it came out very recently, and he is known throughout creation by countless names. Anywhere that life exists, he and the 7 ageless siblings guide the forces and shape it. He is dream of the endless, the year is 1915, and the universe is about to end. Sounds good. Sounds definitely good, and I really like Neil Gaiman's Sandman series so far, so I'm sure this will be a great one when I finished it to get around to. And I just love the cover so much. So thank you, Shane, for getting this for me. But that is not all he got me. He also got me a few more. One Soul, which is by Ray Fawkes. This one is really interesting because it's black and white inside, but the story is told in a really, really interesting way. So basically on every page you get 9 panels on each page, so 18 in total, and each of these panels is an individual story. So every page is laid out this way, and you follow one box on each page every time, and you just see the progression of this person's life and the things that they end up doing, and you're following the same box every time. So you basically have to read this through like 9 times, or even like 18 times, I guess, because you've got 9 different boxes on each page. So it's really, really cool sounding if I can get my head around it. But yeah, it just sounds really interesting. It says that it's a remarkable multi-linear reading experience. I think it's just an experimental one, and I like the sound of it, and I'm very intrigued to see what he does with this format. I'm mostly told through pictures, but there are words a bit later on, so interesting to see how he does this, and yeah, that's that one. Then in the same vein as that one, he also got me this one, which is by the same author. It's called The People Inside, and I think this is the same sort of idea, but instead of having 9 different panels on each page, it has 1 on each page, and it's about couples. So I'm interested to see how this one compares, because I believe he wrote this one after the other one. So yeah, interesting idea, interesting concept, but will it work? That is the question. Then I have one book that I was very kindly sent for review that I haven't hauled yet, so I'm going to show you guys that one. This is Nightblade, and it's by Garrett Robinson. He very kindly got in contact with me and asked if I would like it, and it says, "She saw herself in a cloak of black with a brace of daggers at her waist. Fearlessly she entered mighty cities and robbed them blind before vanishing with the morning mist, and as she escaped through the city's gates, the guards quaked in fear and whispered the word Nightblade." So it sounds like it's going to be fairly badass, fairly kick-ass. I'm quite excited to read this. It is fairly long, but the writing inside is quite big, so that'll be reasonable. I think it's like 400-ish pages. It does feel very solid, because I think it's independently published or published by a small press, so usually they are really, really nice quality, and it definitely has that sort of really nice matte feel to it, so that's exciting. Then a book that I got from my dad, which isn't really a fiction book, but is very interesting to have, and that is The Great British Bake Off Big Book of Baking. And this is put together by Linda Collister, but it includes recipes by Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood, and various other contestants who've been on the show as well. Here's some of the pictures of some of the recipes. I have flicked through. It does look like there's some very tempting stuff, so I will probably be making some of these in the new year. So thanks to Dad for getting this for me. Although it's not fantasy, but we can make do. And then the final one that I have to show you guys right now is this one, and it is The Sculptor, which is by Scott McCloud. This one was again very kindly picked up for me by my boyfriend for Christmas, and I've heard so many good things about this. I know Eleanor loved this, I think Amanda loved this as well. I think just everyone who's read it has loved it. It's got a very nice blue tone wash to it, which I think is awesome because I really enjoy it when there's more than just black and white, and this nice blue seems really, really cool, so very excited to get to this. Again, I don't know an awful lot about the actual storyline. I've just noticed that the cover is very beautiful under the little wrap. Very cool. The wraparound says, David is giving his life for art, literally. Thanks to a deal with death, the young sculptor gets his childhood wish to sculpt anything he can imagine with his bare hands. But now that he only has 200 days to live, deciding what to create is harder than he thought, and discovering the love of his life at the 11th hour isn't making it any easier. Sounds very exciting, sounds fun. I know Neil Gaiman has a quote on the front saying it's the best graphic novel he's read in years, so that's highly promising, and I can't wait to try it out. So I'm sure this is going to be good because everyone I know has absolutely loved it and it just looks awesome. So I can't wait for that. Those are all of the books that I got for Christmas. There are a lot of books. I hope that you guys saw something that you are interested in. If you guys have read any of the things that I mentioned, then definitely do let me know your thoughts on which ones you think I should pick up sooner rather than later. I'm probably not going to be taking a lot of these up to uni with me because it's just too much to carry and I don't have the space. But whenever I do come back down for the holidays and for visits, I will probably just change over some books as I do, and so do let me know your thoughts. And obviously I've got a few days before I go back as well, so very, very exciting stuff though, and I think you'll all agree a lot of very cool graphic novels, which I'm super excited about, so can't wait to read all of them. Thank you to everyone who got me Christmas presents, Mercedes, and all of my family and boyfriend. You are all amazing, and I am very, very grateful to all of you. I hope all of you guys had an incredible Christmas time, and whatever you were doing, whether you were celebrating or hanging out with family or just working, whatever you had to do, I hope you had a decent time and that you enjoyed yourselves. And do let me know in the comments what your favourite thing that you got for Christmas was. Obviously mine is all of the books, but I also am so happy with these lights because they seem to be working really well throughout this video, so hopefully that is the case when I go to editing and it's not all horrible. But I have really, really enjoyed having these lights and you guys actually being able to see the books as I hold them up. It's amazing and really, really cool. So it's probably just me having a little like mini nerd out, but it's really cool for me to have these lights. So yeah, it's probably my favourite present, and I hope you guys all have an incredible day, whatever you're up to, and I shall see you all again soon in another video, hopefully a less rambly one. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat about the